Great day, fam. Coach Ty here, the People's Health and Wellness Coach. And I help working professionals and entrepreneurs 30 years and above that's struggling with finding their specific rhythm. It's trying to juggle that 9 to 5 or that business, shed those unwanted pounds gained over the years, and finding that time and that energy for your loved ones, for your friends, let alone yourself. By providing you with healthy habits, tips, tricks, and hacks that's going to get you back into those jeans you miss wearing that you got tucked in the back of your closet. Finally, enjoy and love looking at yourself in the mirror again. Take that vacay you've been planning for months, even years now, and finally be present with time and energy for yourself, for your loved ones, for your friends, and those things you love doing the most, but you've been putting off for some time now with your new and improved, better balanced body. All right, guys. All right, guys. It's another week of that Set Boundaries workbook with Miss Nedra Glover Tawab. Go ahead and get your pens, your paper, your notebook, and just open your mind and open your heart and get ready. We're going over chapter 6, y'all. It's something serious. It's something serious. We're getting deeper into setting these healthy boundaries that are good for all of us. I mean, it's going to help you get to that next peak of what you're trying to get to as far as with having health and wellness as a whole, honestly, with having healthy relationships and healthy environment. And it's all encompassing your mind, body, and your spirit. We want to get holistic. We want to be holistic in our health and wellness, not just what we eat or just working out, but also our mind, our body, our spirit. All right, guys, you guys ready? You should have a pen and paper by now. Let's get started. Chapter 6 is titled, How to Speak Your Boundaries So People Can Hear You. 3 steps to setting boundaries. Step 1, be clear and focus on the solution, not the problem. Often when we think we're setting boundaries, we are mostly talking about the problem. The boundary is the solution. Let me say that again. The boundary is the solution. What would you like? What do you want to see next time? What will make you feel safe? Going over a problem without discussing the solution will lead people to repeat the behavior causing the issue. Sometimes the person who is causing a problem may be unaware of alternative solutions or simply doesn't know what their limit is. You should be able to condense what you need into 1 or 2 sentences maximum. For example, I'm not able to take care of your plants while you're on vacation. Not this, she says. I don't know why you asked me to care for your plants while you're on vacation. You know I have a black thumb. The last time you asked me to watch your plants, one died, and you complained about my ability to care for them. Why don't you ask someone who knows more about plants? Also, not this. You should ask your sister to water your plants instead. Remember, the boundary is the solution. All right. It's up to the other person. It's up to the other person to make new arrangements. It's imperative to be clear and concise, particularly if you're new to setting boundaries. People can find your weakness if you aren't secure in what you're saying. As a result, they can easily talk you out of your boundary. As you become more confident in setting boundaries, you can add more to your explanation, but remain clear and concise. You don't have to explain your need for safety. It's okay if what you need looks different from what others need. Step 2, state what you need and want, or say no. Speak your truth in the following ways: I want, I need, I expect, or next time. Step 3, Manage your discomfort. It's normal to feel guilty, fear, sadness, remorse, awkwardness, indifference, or relief when setting boundaries. Guilt is often the most challenging part of the process, but it's to be expected, especially if you're new to this. Guilt shows that you are emotionally aware and are concerned about potentially hurting others. But don't let your guilt stop you from doing what you need for your well being. Also, after setting a boundary, it's normal to feel relieved. The hard part is over. You did it. And even when people aren't happy with your boundaries, it feels good to get the fundamental hard part out of the way. She's giving us an exercise, guys. Here's our first one in chapter 6. Name someone in your family who has said things that led you to feel guilty for honoring yourself. What was the boundary? So this is what I put. Some years back, when I started my journey with stopping, or really honestly slowing down drastically with my alcohol consumption, I had a few folks that I no longer call friends and a couple of family that made me feel guilty about slowing down. Some even joked and picked at me. But the great thing was my therapist at that time warned me about that before it happened. She said to think of it this way: there are folks in the hospital, and all of you are sick. They are going to be there are going to be some patients that's not going to want you to get healthy. They're not going to want you to get better, because then who's going to be sick with them? Even though there's plenty of other sick patients in there with them, they want and need as many folks sick with them as possible. And how dare you try to get better? She said, and some of them will be family. Some of them will be friends. Yes, even folks that say they love you want you to continue to stay sick, guys. And that's the hard truth. And it took some time getting over, to be honest, but I was able to finally get through that. It took some time. It hurt, of course. But I'm gonna continue what I was saying. But that doesn't always mean that they're bad people. It just means that they're so sick and so damaged that they can't understand why you would no longer want to be in that state. What's wrong with them that you no longer want to be sick with them? But I'm here to tell all that want to heal, all that want to get better, it's okay to want different and to want to be better for yourself. And wanting better for the people that are directly dependent on you and truly need you to get better, i.e., your kids, your spouse, your mate, even coworkers, even, your team members, anybody that's really dependent on you and looking up to you and that's looking for hope. You got to get better for yourself and for them, honestly. So she says, a few ways to manage discomfort. Feel it. Just sit with it without pushing it away or doing anything. Journal. Move your body. Exercise. Hey, my thing. Call a friend. Cry. Watch something funny. Hug someone. Take a nap. Tap into a creative outlet. And then she gives you a couple of slots for you to fill out. So I put go for a ride, whether a bike or a drive in a vehicle. Draw, create content, practice an instrument, play music, listen to music, something of the sort. Those are the things that I put down. What to say and how to say it, she says. The hardest part is finding the right words, but there aren't any absolute right words. When helping my clients figure out how to speak their needs to others, I often find myself saying, "You already have the words." But it makes sense that we want to practice what to say over and over because we don't want to offend or hurt anyone. Just know that while there aren't perfect right words, there are wrong words that you want to avoid. These include demeaning others or attacking someone's character. As long as you don't do that, your words will be right. My second exercise, guys. Let's practice what to say. In this exercise, focus on what you're trying to convey and not on wanting to please the other person. So the first one is a friend asks you to dog sit for 2 weeks while they visit family. You don't want to take on the task because it's in the past the dog whined and kept you up all night. What do you say to your friend? This is what I said. Now you can say something else or you can take it and put your spin on it. But this is what I said. While I appreciate your trust in me, keeping your dog safe and taking care of him or her, I would rather not be responsible for him or her while you're out of town. Also, I'm not sure if you're aware, but whenever you're not around, she or he whines and barks the entire time you're away, whether it's just a day or multiple days. I completely understand missing such a great person as yourself, but I wasn't sure if anyone had informed you of this before. I do hope you enjoy your week or your trip. That's what I put. You can put whatever you want to put, but hey, that's what I was thinking about. So the second one says, you have plans for your birthday, and your partner keeps insisting that you should do something other than what you have planned. You want to stick to your plans. What do you say to your partner? I put, hey, sweetheart, I understand you want to do something else, but I want to do the things I have already planned for my birthday on my birthday. If you still like doing something else, how about we do it another day that you choose or that we choose? That's not on my birthday. That's just me, short to the point. You guys can put whatever you want to put, but that's what I put. Number 3, your mother stays in touch with your ex after the terrible breakup between two of you. She says that despite what you experienced with your ex, their relationship remains intact. Your mother brings up their interactions often, and it makes you uncomfortable. What do you say to your mother? I put this. Mom, if you want to continue your relationship with my ex, you can, but I don't want nor need to be a part of that. So I would appreciate if you keep you guys' interactions to yourself. Again, I don't want or need to be a part of it, but thank you for your understanding. Simple as put. Number 4, she says, when you and your best friend became roommates, you assumed that they would pitch in to clean the house. Your feelings about how your friend maintains the house are starting to impact your desire to engage with them. They not clean, pretty much. What do you say to your friend? This is what I put. Hey, bud, when we initially moved in together, I assumed we would pitch in and keep the house clean between the two of us. That was on me. I'll take that one. But from now on, I need and would appreciate if we shared the tasks that would keep the house clean without it being a burden on just one person all the time. When would be a good time for you early this week to sit down and create a list of cleaning tasks, for the house? And like again, you could take what I said and spin it, or you could make your own thing, but this is just what I put. So now she says she has a list of things to practice saying. So she says, let's practice saying, I would like you to listen instead of offering solutions. I feel more than one way, and I don't have to pick one way to feel. I feel unsafe in this interaction. Please respect my decision. I don't feel comfortable sharing with you because you tend to tell me what's best for me instead of listening. I need a few moments to myself. I need to vent. Do you have a moment to listen? I'm not looking for advice. I just want to vent. This isn't the best time for me to talk. I will call you back when I can give you my full attention. I know you meant well, but what you said wasn't helpful. How would you like me to support you? I need your help with. The next section says 5 ways to communicate a boundary. Passive, denying or ignoring your needs to allow others to be comfortable. Aggressive, having rigid and inflexible standards of how to engage with others, applying strict rules to all people, sharing boundaries in an abrasive manner, and doing so to offend. Passive aggressive, having boundaries but not making them clear to others, assuming that people know your boundaries and then getting frustrated when your boundaries are violated. Manipulative, issuing ultimatums to be punitive, threatening to do things you won't follow through on. Assertive, having clear and concise exceptions or expectations. Here's the next exercise. In the scenarios below, identify if the boundary is expressed in a way that feels aggressive, passive aggressive, manipulative, or assertive. So, number 1, your boss emails you while you're on vacation. Your response: when you return to work, you give your boss the cold shoulder for the day because they should have known better than to bother you while you were on vacation. What type of response did you have? You guys can put what you feel was the response to that, whether it's passive, whether it's aggressive, whether it's passive aggressive, whether it's manipulative or assertive with the definitions that she provided. I put passive aggressive. Number 2, your father calls you by your family nickname in front of your friends and in public places. You would prefer him to call you by your given name. Your response: you don't mention it to your dad because it's what he's always done. What type of response did you have? I put passive. Number 3, you're invited to a Zoom birthday celebration at the same time as another online event you prepaid for. Your response: thank you for the invitation, but I won't be able to attend. What type of response did you have? I put assertive. Number 4, your brother asks you to store a few things in your garage while he moves. He promises to have everything out within a month. It's been a year. It's been one whole year, and his things are still in your garage. Your response: every month you call him to tell him to get his things or you will throw them out. What type of response did you have? I entered manipulative. Number 5, your food delivery order was not prepared correctly. Your response: you call the restaurant yelling and cussing at the manager because you're pissed off. What type of response did you have? I put aggressive. She gives a key, and number 1, it is passive aggressive. Number 2, it's passive. Number 3 is assertive. Number 4 is manipulative. And number 5 is aggressive. If you put all of those, hey, you're right. If not, it's okay. It's just so we can get this thing going as far as setting healthy boundaries. And she's given us great examples, honestly, to be able to use or to take and tweak for us in our personal lives. So she says, pause. Take a moment to listen to the sounds in your environment. What are they? How do they make you feel? So at the time of me writing this, my AC was blowing and an acoustic guitar instrumental station on Sirius XM was playing, and I felt calmed and relaxed. Because setting a boundary is challenging, let's practice a little bit more. Exercise number 3. Look at the list of 5 ways to communicate a boundary and write an example for each of the ways using the following scenario. An acquaintance, a friend of a friend, asks you to plan their milestone birthday party. She has a section for passive aggressive, manipulative, and assertive for you to fill out with this scenario. So again, the scenario: an acquaintance, a friend of a friend, asks you to plan their milestone birthday party. In the passive section, I put, you plan it even though it may bring a little anxiety of the pressure of the party planning and being around a bunch of folks that you don't know. In the aggressive section, I put, you yell at them or very sarcastically say, I don't even know you, I don't even know you, dude. Or, yeah, right, plan it yourself. Passive aggressive, you plan it with all the apprehension that comes with it. And the day of the party, you're very snappy with the acquaintance or very cold towards them, saying not even happy birthday to them. Manipulative, you tell them you'll plan it, but they'll owe you big time. And if they don't pay up, they can plan not to talk to, they can plan for you not to talk to them, nor see them ever again. For assertive, you tell them thank you for the consideration, but planning parties raises your anxiety, and even more being around a lot of folks you don't know. So you're going to decline the offer, but hope they enjoy their big day. Here's the next scenario. Your coworker asks you to pay when you grab lunch, saying they'll pay you back. They haven't paid you back from the last time you grabbed lunch. In the passive section, I put, you pay for the lunch yet again, even though you're still upset from the last time they didn't pay you. And you still haven't told them how you feel. Aggressive. You sarcastically tell them, yeah, right, you still haven't paid me back from the last time. You get paid like I do. Shoot, you owe me. Passive aggressive. You pay for it and you give it to them when you get back, but you quickly go back to your desk upset and avoid their texts, calls, and act like you're so busy for the next week. They try to contact you or stop by your cubicle. Well, at this point, everybody's Zooming it for the most part. So you stop answering the Zoom calls? Manipulative section. You tell them they didn't pay you back the last time and you won't pay for another meal nor speak to them ever again until they pay you for that time. Assertive. You tell them you don't mind when they share the lunch bill from time to time, but you appreciate them paying when it's their time to pay. You inform them that they never paid the last time and you got the bill, but you would appreciate them paying you back before you offer to pay for another meal. Here's another one. She says, your friend's partner makes inappropriate comments about your weight in front of your friend who doesn't defend you. In the passive section, I put, you laugh it off because everyone else is laughing, though you don't find anything funny. Aggressive. You flip it and tell them how they most definitely look like they haven't skipped a meal in their entire life. Not to mention, it looks like they're taking the liberty of eating everyone else's leftovers they couldn't eat. Passive aggressively. You laugh it off, but you don't talk to your friend for weeks. And the future events with your friend's partner, you're very short, answered, and snappy with them, or snarky. In the manipulative section, I put, you tell your friend if he or she doesn't defend you, you'll tell their partner how much your friend doesn't like the way they put on weight. So the friend's partner has no room to talk. Assertive. You let your friend and your friend's partner know how inappropriate and how uncomfortable it is for them to make comments about your weight, especially in front of people. Also, you don't appreciate that your friend sat there and didn't defend you, especially if your friend knows it's a sensitive subject for you. So the next page, she provides another example, and you can go ahead and fill that answer out. It says, provide an example of when someone has communicated a boundary with you in the following ways: passive, aggressive, passive aggressive, manipulative, or assertive. So you guys take the time out to fill that section out for you guys, for yourselves. Note, pay close attention to how you implement your boundaries. It's expected that when you first start expressing limits, you may go at full throttle and be slightly aggressive. Learn as you go. Assertiveness sounds like this, and she lists some examples. My food wasn't prepared properly. I want a refund. I'm not satisfied with my haircut. I would like you to fix it. The next time you're going to be late, please let me know ahead of time. I don't think it's funny to talk about my weight. I don't want to talk about having kids. I'm not seeking feedback. I'm speaking. I don't want to talk about my dating life. I feel supported when you honor my wishes. How to handle people who don't listen to your boundaries. No matter how assertive you are, there may be some people who challenge your boundaries. When this happens, it's important to remember that you are doing something healthy for yourself. Here's a journal prompt. What are your thoughts and feelings about setting boundaries with difficult people? Excuse me. List a few affirmations that might help you follow through with your boundaries. Examples. Despite my feeling of guilt, I am acting in my best interest. There's another one. I can push through even when there's pushback. I put, remember your goal is complete health and wellness. This includes setting healthy boundaries for yourself and for them. And the second one I put was the serenity prayer. If for anybody who doesn't know it, or even if you've heard it before, I'm going to go ahead and say what it is. But the serenity prayer goes simply, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Reimagine your beliefs about boundaries. As you practice what could go wrong, it's important to consider the things could and often do go better than expected. In this next exercise, I want you to consider something positive happening. The first example she gives, the boundary is, I want to stay at a hotel when I visit my family. The challenging thought is, they will be hurt and disappointed because they are used to me staying with them. The positive possibility is, my family will understand my desires for space and we'll be able to have a nice visit that feels less tense for me. So the example that I put, it says that I want to go to a meeting, to a central meeting place to see family when I visit home from time to time. Challenging thought: they will be hurt that I don't go to everyone's house to meet and see everyone. Positive possibility: my family will understand that I'm traveling and coming home to visit, and we'll be able to meet at a central location for less stress. Another boundary is when I say I just feel like staying in and chilling and I don't want to be around anyone. Challenging thought: they will be hurt and take it personal, even though I just want some me time. Positive possibility: everyone will understand because they're human and they have days where they want some me time and stay to themselves as well. Repeat after me, she says. I am not responsible for how people respond to my boundaries. I am responsible for setting and honoring my boundaries. If my relationships end because I set boundaries, it's a sign that that foundation was cracked. In healthy relationships, I can set boundaries without fear of retaliation, cutoffs, or manipulation. 6 steps to setting boundaries with challenging people. Number 1, assertively restate the boundary as needed. Number 2, correct the violation in real time. Don't let the opportunity pass and then mention it later. Say it in the moment. Number 3, be consistent with implementing your boundaries. Number 4, accept that they, although difficult, are entitled to their response, even if it's different from the one you like. Number 5, choose not to take it personally. They want to do what they want to do. You're asking them to do something uncomfortable that's likely difficult for them. Number 6, manage your discomfort. Here's another exercise. Decide how you want to respond to the people who are especially challenging to boundaries with by brainstorming responses. Here's the exercise, and I put my answers. So she says, when, I put my biological father. She says, violates my boundary regarding, and I put our non-existing relationship and wants to carry on like we've been father-daughter of the year type of relationships. I will, she states, I put kindly remind him of my previous boundary that I've set with him and him taking responsibilities for his actions or non-actions. The next scenario, she says, when, and I put family and friends violates my boundary regarding my time and whether or not I can make an event. I will reiterate that at the moment, I just don't have the time or energy to attend. And I would appreciate them honoring my request or situation. She has a couple of other scenarios which you can answer as well. When blank violates my boundary regarding blank, I will blank. What will you do? I listed a couple of mines. What do you guys put? So we're at the end, guys. You know, we're at the end when she says, gather yourself. Because setting boundaries, I'm gonna be honest, it's difficult at first. I've been doing it for a little time now, but it's difficult. And I've gotten pretty good at it. Almost mastery level. But still, there's still some that I'm still working on with certain people. But she says, gather yourself. Remember, Practice is an essential part of getting better at setting and maintaining boundaries. The more you move through the workbook and familiarize yourself with different strategies, the more confident you'll feel about saying complicated things. What came up for you while going through this chapter? I put some boundaries that I have set personal or previously, but I know there have been multiple times when I didn't stand on them all the time. As I just stated, there's some things that I still need to work on. Whether it was because it was a loved one that was asking without knowing, or they're asking me to break or bend my boundaries, or it's been with myself that's not that's pushing myself too hard or to stay on top of certain things that I make and put to the side. So with my personal boundaries, I will say that going through this workbook paired with Nedra's boundaries book is helping me feel more at ease with setting needed healthy boundaries with certain people that I'm still working on. They're both literal physical accountability reminders, which truly helps, especially for those of us that have always put others and things in front of our own selves, wants, needs, and desires. I mean, even as simple as needing me time and self care. We push that off and run to others' aids while totally dismissing the fact that we are bleeding out while smiling. But if more folks knew how much smiling in front of our tears hurt, pain, and frustrations that we were going through, they would probably ask us how we feel more. But we also need to learn when to throw that white flag up and let someone know that we are sinking and we're hurting and that we need help. Just make sure we find that right one or right people group that we can trust and they're there and they can really help. Even if it's just a trustworthy ear to listen to or to listen with and a shoulder for us to cry on. Remember, give yourself grace and mercy and love on yourself with all of your might. Sincerely, Coach Ty. Much peace and blessings to you all. All right, guys, that's chapter 6. Done and over, out the way. So, again, like always, let me know how you guys feel about this chapter. What was brought up while going over this chapter or just writing these things down? What's going on in the back of your mind? What's going on body-wise? How do you feel? Is it anxious? Is it sad? Is it relieved? Are you ready to get these boundaries going? Or is there still a little bit of angst? Whatever it is, guess what? We're human. We're human. We just take this thing day by day, one step at a time. And let's try to be the healthiest that we can be, the healthiest version of ourselves, mind, body, and spirit, even in our relationships, in our environments, with setting these healthy boundaries. Because setting healthy boundaries, it's not just good for those people that we're setting them with. It's great for ourselves and the peace that we need inside, mentally and emotionally. It's good even with our personal lives, just setting boundaries with ourselves and with others. It's going to really benefit and nurture those healthy relationships that we all need and we all want, of course. And it's going to wean or prune off or cut off those unhealthy relationships that may no longer serve us. Maybe it served us at one point of our lives, and maybe now it doesn't serve us. Either way, it's okay. Like I said in this book, I'll say it again. Make sure to give yourself grace and mercy. Because listen, Setting boundaries is serious. And it's going to bring up a lot of different emotions. I've had to battle those emotions myself. There's still some, as I stated earlier, there's still some relationships that I'm still working on setting boundaries, or I have set some boundaries, but I have to work on reiterating those boundaries to keep them, at the front of mind for them. But again, make sure to share, like, subscribe, send this to somebody that it could benefit or help. Or even for those people that you're trying to set those boundaries with. Who knows? Them listening to these videos and listening to these chapters may set something off in their mind and like, maybe I need to work on setting boundaries with myself, or maybe I need to work on being a better friend or a better loved one to that person that sent me this video or these videos with setting boundaries. Again, let me know in the comments how you feeling, what's going through your brain, what's going through your body, and how it can help. Because again, I'm Coach Ty, the People's Health and Wellness Coach, and I am really here to help as much as I can. I'm really here to be that light bearer that the Bible talks about in the earth. I'm here to help. So bring on suggestions, questions, whatever you have, put them in the comments, and I'll make sure to reply and even shout you out. All right, guys, you take care. It's been another great week of setting healthy boundaries. Again, much peace, blessings, and grace to you all while you're setting these healthy boundaries in your lives, in your relationships, in your environments. My goal is for you to be a whole health and wellness person, mind, body, and spirit. As much as I can, I'm here. You guys take care. Have a good week.